Stealth Kitty.
What's the name?
Her name?
Yeah.
Tessie.
Aw. What's the name?
Tessie.
Tessie. Aw. Yeah. Cute. Aw.
Tessie was.
Tessie.
She's a rescue, and the day I adopted her was the day that the Red Sox won the World Series in 2007. So I named her Tessie after the Red Sox song. The joke is that I was training her to walk in a circle around Yankee Stadium as many times as possible. In a black
That's really cute. We're troubleshooting 30 minutes into game time.
Without a DM.
We're really on top of things.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind. It's a little confusing. I don't. So just to have a different platform so people could see what we look like. Okay. Does that get archived on YouTube, or is it just like what we see on Twitch gets archived, and then everything else is just extra?
So that's instead of using Discord video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Might be cool for the con too. Get that prepared for the con. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That face.
She's so pretty. Beautiful cat.
Oh.
She does.
Well, she's only the kitty.
Today is just Dungeons and Pets Day. Today's just Dungeons and Pets Day.
Nothing wrong with that. I would be thrilled to see more of Sarah's kitties.
Oh.
Wait.
Oh, I thought somebody jumped in. I thought I heard the sound for somebody else jumping in.
That's what I thought too.
No, that was me just muting, and I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes when other people mute, they do like everybody gets like a beep about it, but then sometimes not, and I'm always nervous that when I'm muting, it's making a sound for the video archive. Oh, okay. Well.
Mine actually froze. I had to leave then come back in, but
We can't have dead air, people.
We're live now. That's right. What are we
Damn. Damn.
we are live now.
Quickly, somebody talk about goblins and towns.
Goblins and towns.
Hey, we're archaeologists. All right, let's talk about goblins and towns. What have we started to see archaeologically? What have we started to learn as archaeologists about goblins just by the things that we've been told about Goblin Town and the Goblin Society that we've had to interact with? Anyone? Short round.
They like their art. Well, geez, man, I don't want to say anything now. I was about to, but now I don't want to.
Tough shit. Start talking. What were you going to say?
No. Well, they like their trading of artifacts and such, and they like they don't know about their shippo. It seems don't really know or care about their shippo. Very unlike real life.
Huh. How unlike real life is that? I wonder. Who is my shippo out here? I have no idea.
Here's an interesting thing, not to get and tonight's episode, should we ever get to it, might delve into this, but knowing that goblins tend to be a marginalized population in the area of Plot, I wonder if this is an example of subsistence looting.
Michael,
You know, the idea of,
tell us about
subsistence looting.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry?
I was going to say, tell us what subsistence looting is.
Well, this is a concept, and there are others that know far more about it than I. Great organizations like the Antiquities Coalition, the Athar Project, the Traffic and Culture Project out of University of Glasgow, which used to have the wonderful Donna Yates until Brexit happened and her funding left for the Netherlands.
She's still on Twitter, though, folks. You can still follow her. She's still awesome.
Great Twitter account. Great Twitter account.
Yeah.
Her and Sarah Parkak are like two of my favorite archaeologists to follow on Twitter.
Someday, I'm actually going to meet Sarah Parkak. She owes me a drink.
Yeah.
We'll see when that happens.
She gave a plenary address at ASOR one year, and I got a chance to ask her a question at the plenary, and that's about as far as.
She's busy. But anyway. Go back to subsistence
But,
looting.
subsistence looting is basically it's the idea that looting is driven by demand. That the people who actually physically do the digging are not the ones who profit the from the looting, trafficking, laundering, and sale of antiquities, but rather that's at the far end of the supply chain with the antiquities dealers and the collectors. They're the
Mhm.
ones who really make money and profit off it. And subsistence looting is, it's great to say, if you're in an impoverished country or a country that's been ravaged by war, like Syria or Yemen, you're in the West, archaeologists would say, don't loot archaeological artifacts, but people are literally starving in the streets and their families slaughtered. And so much else going on, so other economic instability. It's hard for us to say don't do these. What's much easier for us to say and really go after collectors, dealers, smugglers. They're the ones instead of people doing the digging. So I'm wondering if goblins are a marginal population in this area. Are they doing this to survive another population?
Now I can't hear Michael. God damn it.
That was really
Sorry, did I
soft,
lose
but
the
I
mic?
got the gist of it.
Yeah. You faded out there at the end. I thought it was me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My phone is weird. I hold it in a certain way and I cover the mic, and it's an invisible mic. I can never tell where it is. Video calls all the time. So unless I hold it from the very bottom, like delicately like this, then it covers up.
You need to get Mike
Basically,
a selfie
collectors,
stick.
The antiquities dealers and the smugglers are the ones who are really making the money. So it makes me think that, like the shovel hobs, with the exception of,
Pompous looking guy.
We haven't met him yet, have we?
The guy who's decided his name is backwards.
Yeah.
Professor Doctor. With the
Was
exception
it
of Herr Professor Doctor.
Professor Dr. Pickle or something?
Yeah. With the exception of Dr. Pickle, nobody's really
Dr.
making any money in the shovel hops. They're wearing camouflage. So
I wonder if Daryl knew this and knew to make the true antagonist not the people doing the diggers who get, labeled as the looters when it's actually Dr. Pickle.
Hair Dr. Pickle, thank you.
Sorry.
Or whoever smuggles the objects to market, sells them, and then most of all, the collectors get money.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen, have any of you ever seen Adam Ruins Everything?
I live with that guy.
Fuck you.
Yes.
So you already live with that, so you don't want to watch it on the television.
No, we've seen it actually. That's the running joke in the house.
He had this wonderful piece on the fine art market.
Yes.
And how it's basically a great big price fixing scheme and incredibly corrupt and is used to launder money. All of that is also the case in antiquities, but it's actually even worse because with fine art pieces, you know where they came from. They're not illicit objects that were dug out of the ground. And it's so brazen to the point that a lot of antiquities dealers, especially the shady, even the like the really, really shady ones, especially online, will literally utilize marks as being tokens of authenticity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of BS with the antiquities market. Not to toot my own horn, but we've interviewed Dr. Yates before on the podcast, so mute yourselves when you are typing with vigor.
My bad.
That's two of you. It's two of you. What I wanted to hit on with the subsistence looting is it kind of goes back to the last time we had an episode where we were just talking as archaeologists about who owns the history, and if a society lays claim to their own history and chooses to sell it, is there anything we could do, should do, or have a right to do as archaeologists when it comes to preserving it if it's not necessarily something they want to preserve? All of it in air quotes.
I think in that case, you can try to work with that society to, if nothing else, at least document as much as you can before they dig or excavate. Like, try to convince them to let us at least take photos. I saw this interesting talk about tactical advocacy for historic preservation last week, where for places, so in California, there's a site, and then this is also the Bethlehem Steel plant. There's photographers who are going around knowing that these places are going to be destroyed. They've gone through consultation, they've decided they're still going to be taking down these historic structures. So they're just renting airplanes, flying around, taking photographs, sneaking in at night, hopping fences. They do not, advocate breaking the law or anything like that, but they're doing everything they can to get as much documentation.
That's like guerrilla archaeology at the finest there.
Yeah, but obviously no one don't break the law or trespass and do it, but I think if the owner of that culture really wants to get rid of it, I think all we can do is really just try to convince them to at least let us document it before they destroy it. But what's interesting is it seems like a lot of cultures, or like any culture, there's a segment of a population that wants to preserve something, and there's a segment that doesn't. So you're going to have archaeologists of whatever ethnic group that is, whatever culture, whatever nation, state, county, city. There seems like there's always someone who wants to preserve something. So finding that person or goblin who wants to save their own history, there's some, I don't know, opportunities for education.
Yeah, but my thing is like I'm playing devil's advocate, so please just roll with me. If a culture doesn't value, and to bring this on to games again, does anybody else play an ESO besides me in the group right now?
A little tiny bit.
Okay, so in the ESO, I have to remember everything. In Elder Scrolls Online, there's an area called Murkmire. They just I think it was like one of the first spots they released. Anyway, there's that's where the lizard people race is, and one of the things about their culture, the native culture, is that they don't preserve anything. Like, they think preservation and the remembrance of history is holding on to the dead. It's a really interesting thing that they came up with. But one of the storylines is the conflict between that aspect of their culture, the whole, like, we don't keep history, we don't study history, we don't remember our history, it's not important. And there's an antiquarian group that has come in and is trying to preserve this culture group's and history against the wishes of the culture. But they do have a couple people who are, like, I guess in a real world example, they've been westernized, and so those lizard folk want to preserve history and stuff because they've been educated in the Western style. There's so much in this storyline, man. You have no idea. Like, the main character is the epitome of the nice white lady, and it's just like, this hurts so much. But when it does bring up the idea that, like, what if we as archaeologists do come across a culture that, like, literally doesn't want their past preserved because it is, in their eyes, detrimental to them, to preserve it. What What if they view the preservation of their past as like saving ghosts or any of that kind of stuff? Like, what do we do? Do we do anything? Yes. You don't have to raise your hand. Just start talking.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt if someone else wanted to dive in. I think one of the things we need to realize is that very often is that cultures are not, unlike in Elder Scrolls Online or game environments, cultures are not insular. Cultures
Right.
are, a single culture doesn't necessarily exist. There are multiplicities of cultures,
Mhm.
and that's existed throughout history. So a great example of a culture which did not want to preserve certain elements of its past might be, for example, the Taliban in Afghanistan in 2001 decided to blow up the Bamiyan Buddhas because they didn't consider it part of their culture, they didn't consider it part of their religion, pre-Islamic, they didn't want to deal with it, so they blew it up. Now you could say devil's advocate, well, this is modern Afghanistan is a majority Muslim country. It's their culture. It's their country. They can do with their culture what they decide to do. But I think all of us would agree that this was an assault on those outside of Afghanistan too. That this was something that damaged people outside of that country, outside of that culture.
It was seen as a
So I think
political move by, I think, everybody. I think it was seen as a political move by pretty much everybody, including the people that did it. So
I see a wild Daryl.
I do
shoot,
too.
I was just about
A
to
wild Daryl
interject
has
finally.
interrupted
Now
the
Daryl's here. Well,
Interject,
never mind.
interject.
Well, it's kind of similar to the Confederate statues and everything going on during BLM too, right? And also, as someone from Washington too, the Kennewick Man situation, the Ancient One situation comes to huge mind here because people think, it's archaeologists and, for instance, folks and tribes, we have a different view of what preservation is. And the archaeologists, we think by doing our job and getting in the way of the wishes of tribes, we think that we're doing the preservation here. We're finding out knowledge that can't be gained without doing such, destructive practices. Whereas for the tribes, preservation doesn't look like that. And
Right.
so there becomes this, butting of heads situation as well. And I really wonder, tying it back to the lovely Goblin Town, like, are we getting in the way of how things have always been? We as outsiders, with the exception of Groudal?
Well, of course you are. And Grandal is a perfect example of the. Well, no, the Grandal is a perfect example of like a native person who has been removed from their native place and has learned to grow and adapt outside with their other culture, and then comes back to their native situation, their native culture, as a changed person with someone with two perspectives. Like, does that make Grandal valuable, or does that make Grandal an adversary to his native group? I mean, we're thinking deeply about a D&D character, I understand, but it's something to think about it, and it happens commonly. I mean, especially when we decided we were going to colonize the West.
I think there's the idea of as I said before, there's the idea of a multiplicity of culture. The interesting thing about Gretel's situation is you could consider it almost a result of the migration of peoples, or maybe even a greater sense of globalization as cultures move and migrate from place to place, and societies from multiple backgrounds, such as Clark, begin to emerge. I wanted to jump onto what Anna said, though, because it was so smart and so insightful.
Oh, God.
Of the idea of representing tribal needs. I think that that idea of butting heads comes from that old school academic form of archaeology, when instead maybe what we should be doing is figuring out ways and developing resources to create collaborative approaches where we're working with tribal nations and tribal governments
Yeah.
to fulfill their needs, where typos are involved in every step of the process, all the way from site selection through to publication.
Hmm.
And
Exactly,
there are a
because
lot of
people
great
are
professors who are
forgetting.
doing that, like Stephen Silliman, for example.
Hmm.
Done a lot of work on the Pequot Reservation in Connecticut.
I think
Yeah.
we as archaeologists are kind of forgetting, we're coming in here, we're seeing that all of this stuff that we're working with and dealing with is so cool, but it's we have such an outsider's perspective. There are people who are linked to this stuff, and those are the people we need to be pleasing and catering to, and just kind of understanding that we need to work with you. How do you want this best preserved? How do you want us dealing with this? Because this has more meaning to you than it will to us. And I think that kind of connection there, or even just remembering that we're all anthropologists in addition to the hard science nature of what we're doing, I feel like there's a disconnect that continues to keep happening.
Well, and also like in CRM archaeology, part of the, Section 106 process is tribal consultation.
Mhm.
So, like, the company I work for, we have a really strong and very good relationship with one of the tribes here, and we're always, looking for ways to where what we're doing is the most beneficial for them.
Mhm.
And yes, it's usually corporations that are hiring our company to do the archaeology for whatever they're planning on building or doing, but it's always done in consultation with the tribe if they're going to be on tribal land. And part of our goal is to make sure that if the tribe wants something left alone or avoided, that it's avoided and left alone. Or if they don't care if something gets destroyed, then we do what we can to get as much information as possible. And if they want certain things, like if we find certain artifacts and they want those, then we collect them and curate them for the tribe and then give it back to the tribe to do what they will.
And I think that's where we should be. Like,
Mhm.
my problem with archaeology right now, especially well, not especially Sarah. My problem with archaeology right now is there's a lot of people who are saying a lot of shit about preserving and decolonizing archaeology and all this good stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are throwing around a lot of buzzwords, but then when you look at their actions and the way they continue to practice and study archaeology, they're not actually changing any of it. Like, they're not consulting with the tribes. They're not listening to the stakeholders. They're just kind of doing it the same way, but they're still using the buzzwords.
Mhm.
Well, babe.
That's really
Yeah, decolonizing is like triggering to me now. It feels like the folks that use that term, they haven't figured out their clear sight of it or definition of it. And
Yeah.
I see people abusing that term all the time that
Yeah.
I flinch anytime I frankly hear it anymore.
Yeah, it's not to start that discussion on here, but
Yeah.
there's I got some issues. But anyway, Daryl's here.
Yeah.
Hi, DM.
Hello. Wait, hold on a second. I guess. Damn it! I always actually put tape over the camera lens just to be safe. I gotta take that off.
Let's see.
Why did we decide on videos today? What did I miss?
I mean, we don't have to. This just happens to be it.
We just started.
I feel this is my way of apologizing.
It's right, you apologize.
Okay.
Oh shoot. That's my
Okay.
face anytime I read a message from Sarah, Daryl.
No.
It's okay. I got yelled at for doing laundry.
By Sarah?
Yeah,
Probably.
when I first logged in, she was all like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "I was doing laundry." She's like, "No excuse."
How dare you have a life outside this game? How dare?
Oh boy.
How dare. Anyway. Daryl's like, screw you guys.
Focus on something. Like, I have a couple drawings that are not quite prepped, so while you're talking, if I seem a little distracted, it's because I'm prepping a couple drawings here. So.
I have food now, and I don't know how to handle this. Do I mute myself while I eat, or what?
Would it matter?
I don't know. Should I put the mic like right up to my mouth and just be
Yes.
like, "Oh, D&D and SMR"?
SMR, D&D while eating.
Let's make it method acting, right? So, like, whatever you're eating, that's what you're going to be eating as a character. So, like, yeah, the shovel hobs are baking a fresh batch of pizza over their campfire with little slices on sticks.
Dagmar's just gonna be very intimidating with just like a mouthful of food. Like, what is that of me? Get to my face.
You know, Daryl, you laugh about the pizza on sticks over a fire, but I'm from Rhode Island where they invented the grilled pizza.
What?
Yeah. Grilled pizza's good though.
You over there.
You eat grilled pizza.
The food over there is just so funky. It's like I feel sheltered.
Well, you know,
You
I
are.
would say the same thing about the West Coast, about the Northwest Coast.
We knew.
How many different ways can you eat salmon?
Daryl, when did your hair get so luxurious? Or is that your shadow?
That might be an appropriate question.
Look at those locks. All right.
Careful, you cut it off and he loses his DM power.
Oh, shoot, no.
Okay, dude, if your girlfriend wants to tie you down and then pulls out a pair of scissors, just run.
It's actually kind of funny. So in different points of my life, I would tell myself, let's just not cut my hair until this whatever event finishes. So when I was a university student, as an exchange student in Japan, for 1 year I didn't cut my hair. And so at the beginning of this whole pandemic thing, I'm like, well, okay, I can't go to the barbershop anymore. Let's just not cut my hair until it's over. It's not over yet, so.
Grow your hair out and do like a samurai hairstyle too at one point.
Yeah, he shared that picture, yeah.
Oh my god, I remember that.
That was rough.
Wow, Sarah.
I was just, putting it out there. All right, you guys. Daryl, you ready, or are you still? You still need a minute.
I have to grab a drink, so I'll be right back.
We will all wait for.
I'm gonna take advantage and have a bathroom break, and I'll be right back then.
Yeah, it's about bathroom breaky time anyway. So.
Okay.
Why does my camera keep shutting off? Stop that. I'm the only person talking. So I have a new setup for you today. I don't know if you can see it yet.
Yeah, I figured that's one. Okay, so you're gonna put the videos. So
Like, you weren't here yet for this, but it probably got recorded. I don't know. But I was thinking, I got the beta for Zencaster, which is. Do you know what Zencaster is? Okay, so Zencaster is a browser application where you can record sound. Or you can do like a podcast recording. But it records natively off of each individual person's computer. So it creates like a flawless audio file. So they've upgraded it now so it does video as well. So now what we can do is just send a link out to everybody who's going to be participating. It will capture video and audio. And I think maybe next week we might play around with it without going live just to see what it's going to look like, because I haven't even seen it in action yet. But the nice thing about it is after everybody's taped, it saves all of that stuff on a cloud, so I can download it at any location and I can edit things if I want to. But it also saves audio files separate from the video files, so like you have a podcast file, you have a podcast audio file along with your video. But that's what I was thinking about putting in this area here, if I can rearrange it. Because my big complaint right now is that I can't arrange the Discord videos so that they don't fit nicely. It doesn't look terrible, though.
I am back.
Yay! Wasn't it short round? Wasn't it you that told me to look up
What did I do?
Big Bang?
Hey, well, we're live. We don't talk about that right now.
We don't talk about K-pop right now.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
What?
I've never
What?
heard of that before. What are you
Why can't we talk?
talking about?
No, explain this. Why can't we talk about K-pop?
I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna play Fantastic Baby for you right now.
What is that? I don't. What are you talking about? K-pop?
Yeah, I'm kidding. K-pop. Didn't you even start with me?
G-Dragon? Let's talk G-Dragon.
G-Dragon. No, it's G-Dragon, and he's dating Jenny because I know this now, and I don't know why.
Really? Oh man, wait. I'm about to say, like, isn't Jenny like in her 20s, early 20s? G-Dragon's gotta be in his 30s by now.
Oh my god, they're so, like, weird and old. No one ever dates with a 10-year sibling. We go. Keep fucking with me. I'll play the whole goddamn song. Anyway. Oh, I thought you didn't know what it was. You want to hear the whole song? It gets better. Picks up there in the middle a little bit.
You can expose me live on Twitter.
What do you care? I did not realize that was a sensitive spot for you. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Should I go find the Hangover song with Psy and Snoop Dogg then instead?
Oh my god, what?
Have you not?
The one that you and Ellie were talking about that. That's right.
You have to watch the video. If you don't watch the video along with the song, it's the impact. It just isn't there.
A post-field song or something you guys said, or like a pre-field song?
Post-field. It's the field leaving song. After you've had a long day of working in the field, you leave the field listening to Snoop Dogg.
Should play that at the end of sessions. Long day of D&D. We're all leaving the session. Enjoy this.
I don't know how long of a clip of music I can play before I get like hit with a copyright. I need to find out.
That's true.
Because then I'm just going to inundate Twitch. I don't think gives a crap.
No, they do.
Do they? Alright, that's good to know.
Yeah, because that whole Metallica thing, that was weird. Funny but weird.
What happened with Metallica?
Metallica streamed a live concert on Twitch, but whatever algorithms or whatever would like sort of scroll or troll through it, and they were afraid that those algorithms would pick up the music coming from Metallica's live stream and then hit Metallica's account with a copyright.
Could not happen to a nicer band.
And it's funny. So Twitch just dubbed over some other copyright-free music on top of the concert.
That's dumb.
It was like 8-bit music, wasn't it?
I didn't listen to it. I was just like, this is, oh my goodness.
That's what I heard, is that they took the song that Metallica was playing, but it was like the 8-bit cover version of it.
Okay. I just think it's funny that Metallica got hit with copyright infringement on the internet. Metallica. Not bitter about Napster.
Yeah, they chose our age.
Our age? You're how old?
35.
There you go. You're like Jenny's age. I have no idea how old she is. She could be 12 for all I know. She's not 12, is she?
Is that her real name?
Oh.
Probably.
Look, there was a headline about G-Dragon was dating Jenny and their PR companies hadn't confirmed, and I went, why do I know this now? And I was like, G-Dragon, isn't he from that Big Bang group? Yeah, Short Round told me about that. And so there it was. There was my rabbit hole. You guys gonna play?
No.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
just talking now.
Also, Sarah, I like how your update on Twitter is saying that we're still at the ranch dealing with the blue meanies.
I'm lazy. That's really all that was. I apologize to anyone who
We're just
actually
dealing
pays
with
attention to
Bigfoot
this.
every single week.
It's been that way for like the
Figure out-
last 3 weeks. Yeah, sorry.
Trying to find one of your guys' to retweet, and I looked at that one. It's like, nope, not that one.
Well, I also didn't know I couldn't remember what was supposed to happen this week, so I didn't know what to update it to. And that, again, is totally me, not anybody in particular. So have fun. I'm gonna mute myself.
What you guys are doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna go now so you guys can have like at least an hour and a half to play before shit hits the fan. But anyway, enjoy. Adieu.
Bye.
Yeah.
Maybe. How do I do this? Go away. Right, there's that. There's that.
Okay. We don't actually have to have cameras on, but if whatever. So I think. What's the Twitch stream look like? All right. Okay. So here we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody out there on the internet. So here we are once again in Goblin Town. Although it's not Goblin Town proper, we are in Oak Ridge. Let's see. Our intrepid adventurers have been on hot pursuit to find the source of some cursed artifacts. They've traced them to the town of Oak Ridge, where there are rumors that a lot of these artifacts are coming from a group known as the Shovel Hobs. And these Shovel Hobs are led by a mysterious figure. All right. Whose name is? I actually have to read it every time I say it. I have to read it. It's. Let me see. Here we go. Zixwavud Sirk P. Anum Ukjig Fed Kaba. All right. Very sophisticated. Also known as the Fancy Goblin. They have tracked the. Following rumors, they were able to find their encampment upstream along the Red Stream, a little bit north of the town of Oak Ridge. Night has fallen, and they have come upon the Shovel Hobs while they are eating, drinking, and enjoying their dinner. So with that, are there any questions about what is currently happening?
No, I think we're all on the same page.
Okay. All right. Let's see then. So right now you're all hidden, and if I'm remembering correctly, do you still have Pass Without a Trace on? I think you probably do.
Believe we do, yes.
Yeah.
I think you have, yeah. Okay, so you have Pass Without a Trace. So you're very, very, very stealthy like right now. I mean, as still as the night. Okay. So I'm guessing you're all whispering in the bushes, trying to decide on what you're going to do. So what are you going to do?
I feel like we had like a whole plan, actually, didn't we? Or maybe I was just rattling on about how we should dress Gradall up and have him infiltrate. Probably not the best idea.
I think that was the only thing we talked about.
Yeah. Well, they're all awake.
I mean, I guess you could do it, but remember,
Where
like,
would you get the clothes?
Just mug a guy.
Remember we said we were gonna Indiana Jones it.
Hmm.
You would just grab somebody and pull him back behind some crates and knock him out and then steal his clothes. But his clothes don't fit right, so you gotta knock out a second guy.
Okay, so just to help you with your planning and your scheming, just remember that most of the shovel hobs are. Oh wait, huh? I thought I. Huh? I thought I put him in here. Where is he? Oh, oh. I'll put the old one. Here's the. I'll put the old picture up. I'll put the newer picture up in a second. Just remember that actually most of them are actually just wearing loincloths. There's not a lot that they're wearing.
I'm not wearing a loincloth. Just saying. And do you think maybe my giant bright purple shock of hair might also stand out a little bit?
That's why we put a hat on that.
Most of them have hats.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have straw hats.
Mm-hmm.
It's good if we're avoiding light out.
Should we watch what they're doing a little bit? I mean, should we just kind of maybe do like a perception check or something just to see what they're up to before deciding what to do? Because I feel like we shouldn't announce our presence too quickly.
So for the most part, you don't need a specific perception check because they're not really hiding anything. And you can at your own leisure sort of look at things. So you see about 6 tents, and there are 2 main campfires that people are surrounding, and they're all basically eating and drinking, and basically relaxing. They're having dinner. There's sort of no pretense. There are no guards. It's just them sort of camping.
So we can poison the food.
You could if you could get to it.
It's well, I'd imagine we would have to make sure that we have some poison with us. But I'm starting to think that maybe our main target here should be Hair Professor Doctor.
Right. So we could try to get him alone. Or
I wonder if we say that we work for a wealthy client who's looking for something specific and is willing to pay through the nose for it.
Hey, using the brain. That's a good idea. A really good idea. I'm on board with that.
But who would it be?
Wealthy
and what
client.
would they want? Do we know enough, DM, about the antiquities around here to know what kind of thing would be highly sought after?
Okay, so you didn't quite investigate through the markets that much. So for generally, the general rumors is that this civilization that was here on the continent before, the lost ancient civilization known as Pacifica, right, was sort of powerful, and the whole spiel. And so the idea is that you can get your hands on something that is particularly powerful or has some really potential magic involved with it. But that's sort of the rumor. If from you talking with people and hearing just people talk, most of the items that people have found have been very useful, but there's always sort of a weird catch to them. Like you might get an item that helps you fly, but it smells really weird. Like it makes you stink. Like there's always something weird.
It's a weird catch to everything. I'm sorry, it's a theory?
Okay, go for it, Theory.
I think that was Genera.
Oh, Genera?
Oh, was it?
No, that wasn't me. We're just hearing things.
We're hearing things. I mean, couldn't we at least kind of fib and, well, not so much fib, but just straight up lie and say that, because because this fancy hair Dr. Pickle Man, he had a relationship with the guy, the antiquities dealer back in Oak Ridge. So could we say that we're affiliated with him and then go from there?
It's possible.
Unless we're concerned about him possibly being able to check us out on that. Like, if this is somebody that he has an established relationship with, he can easily contact them to, find out if we're actually on the up and up.
And then we kill him.
Wow, someone recovered quickly from last game.
Yeah, I'm over it now. It's fine. I'm all good now. I think I'm like limited to 1 kill per game.
Just push them down. Just push them down. Push them all the way down until you're stepping on them.
Oh god. Well, I could just start shouting.
I mean, you are our berserker, so.
I wonder if, because all the antiquities around here might have something really powerful, but also something really weird. Like the example that we heard was like an antiquity that could make you fly, but also makes you smell really bad. What if we say we're like working for a client who has no sense of smell, but wants to learn how to fly or something like that? I don't know.
Thank you for the quote in chat. Plastered there. We could also just go in and similarly to archaeological sites, just go in as people that, just kind of feign ignorance and just be like, oh hey, we're tourists. What are you guys doing here? Kind of thing. Also, I mean, it might get us shooed away the quickest, but it's an easy way into the camp.
As a non-archaeologist, does that actually work?
No, never. I mean, like you get the courtesy though, and you don't like. I don't know.
I don't know. Most of the time, if it's someone wandering into your business, it's usually a bad thing. Asking, if you work for the feds or something.
Yeah, or you just straight up get the lie. Like if you're the non-archaeologist, you get told something like, "Oh no, we're just doing a little bit of a soil survey. We're just geologists.
We're just surveyors."
Yep. Don't mind us. Don't worry about it." So that's probably maybe a bad idea. But Daryl didn't know that, so it could have worked before we said any of this.
Well, we shoot ourselves in the foot all the time, so.
DM, what was the name of the antiquities dealer who I intimidated and then deceived in Oak Ridge?
Daryl's like, it's your fault for forgetting.
Bragthim.
That's right.
Bragthim. I wonder if going with the idea of like coming here on behalf of a wealthy client, if we just say that like Bragthim, or one of us could be the wealthy client. Does anybody have like a lot of fancy clothes or fancy jewelry or something like that?
Janira?
Oh?
You have a tiara on.
I mean, yeah, but I'm also like dressed in monk clothes.
You've got fancy sneakers and tiara.
Yeah, my charisma is super low, so probably anything like having to do with deception, I would fail at. So,
well, then it's probably gonna have to be Gradal or Aetheri then, because my charisma is like just negative.
So you're looking to become I could try, I suppose. What do you think of Aetheri?
Well, yeah, and because I know the thieving world.
Yeah.
You know, I could talk the talk like I'm the middleman or something with the client. Make it sound shady. And then I'll believe him.
Hey. I know what you're doing here. Yeah. That's shady.
So, with theory, if you were to do this, what would you like us to do? Do you want us to just keep to the shadows and sort of act as your backup in case things go bad?
Dagmar's like, yeah, I'm the muscle. Tell me what to do. While munching on a French fry. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, so we're trying to convince Fancy Maker, Dr. Pickleman, that to sell us the stuff he's finding. That's what we're trying to do, right? And figure out where he's getting it from.
Well, maybe find out where he's getting it from, but also who is he selling it to?
Mm-hmm.
Because it
Yeah.
seems to me that these aren't just, all of the items are weird or cursed in some way. I mean, when I had that bull thingy, I had bad dreams.
We gotta figure out the whole operation here. Then kill.
Wow. The bloodlust is real.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta ask questions first, shoot later, right? If you shoot first and ask questions later, then it kind of ruins it.
See, that's what I used to be like, but then you guys changed me, and now I act a little better. See? Look at that. Character development. Yeah, I like this plan. I think we should do this.
Yeah, so we'll go talk to him, and then maybe we just say we're a group that's has a buyer that's looking to buy stuff, and we heard this was a good place.
And I can stand behind with my arms folded and just glare at them.
So should we stick to the shadows while Theory does the talking, or should we all go in together? How much longer would I have on Pass Without a Trace, by the way?
Probably not long.
We've been
passing without a trace for 2 weeks now. Is Daryl there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm just letting you talk and letting you have your conference.
I'm not sure what I'm going to say I'll go in and say, like, or just I'll just go ask him who he's selling it to.
I think it'd be a good idea to go in together, honestly.
Yeah.
We're all taller than them, with the exception of Gretel. We pose a threat.
As usual, using your intimidation. Very good.
Getting called out today.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna put up another picture of another one of the shovel hobs. Let's see, another one
Another one.
So as you're sort of doing your conferencing and sort of spying, looking around.
He's missing things. Or she. Things are missing.
Oh.
Is that a trowel? Oh my goodness, it's a trowel.
Always play your audience.
Hang on, real quick. I gotta give a shout out that Early Be Good is rating our stream.
Oh wow,
And
fantastic! Thank you.
For those that don't know, Earl is the voice actor and did the mocap for Jonah and the new Tomb Raider games.
What? Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
So
Yeah,
welcome to the
everybody.
stream and thanks for the raid. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. Yeah, wow. Gotta up our game now. All right. Well. Also, also, this episode was sponsored by Marshalltown, the creator of all of our trowels. Can we get sponsored by Marshalltown? That'd be so cool.
We already got Necrogoblicon to allow us to use one of their songs, so why not?
Let's go. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna summarize and recap. So right now you're hidden in the bushes at night, looking at this camp of goblins. These goblins are having dinner. They're enjoying themselves. They are all seem to be diggers. They have shovels. They have like bags of dirt. And I think a theory is now going to step out from the bushes and talk to them and hopefully persuade them or trick them into thinking that you are dealers, artifact dealers of some sort. So that's the plan, right?
I don't think so much dealers as we are representatives of a wealthy client. We were sent here by Bragg to negotiate a particular item. We should probably decide what the item is, the BS item that we're looking.
Do you want that cup back? I'm kidding. I know you don't.
I thought you shoved it in Bragtham's face, and you're like, nope, not gonna have nothing to do with this cursed cup.
Then we should decide on an item.
Ooh. No, we already know one item. We know the bowl intimately, and we know that it kind of like summons the blue meanies. Maybe we're like, maybe we want to find more of those bowls because we're working for a wizard who wants to summon the blue meanies for ungodly experiments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Sounds like a necromancer.
Crazy.
And then we'll find out like how dirty this,
Operation
hair doctor pickle man is.
Oh.
Oh wait, I gotta put up a picture of him because you keep talking about him, and like I don't think. Here, let me go get a picture of him. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oops.
Still needs a reference picture.
Alrighty. There we go. There we go. Here he is. Here he is. Monocle, pit helmet, and all. Excellent.
Everyone in chat take bets on what his voice is going to sound like.
That's pressure. I haven't been doing voices, and now you're like, you're upping the pressure here.
Well, we already have bets on what Dannyfoot's gonna sound like, so.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say. Oh my goodness. All right, should we start our descent, or?
I'm gonna assume that all of this talking and conferencing has taken like an hour. So by the time you're sort of like, okay, now we're gonna do it, you can tell some of them are sort of like beginning to finish up. They're sort of laying back. Some of them are brushing their teeth with little sticks. I'll make a nice reference. It's like they have sea wax sticks and they're kind of scrubbing their teeth.
Do we see any of them like setting up like guard posts for the night or like watch posts or anything like that?
They're like just rolling out their blankets and bedrolls and You know, you see a couple of them with little teddy owl bears. You know, not ready to go to sleep.
Cute.
Do we see Dr. Air Pickle Man? What's his name?
He's talking excitedly, talking a lot, waving his hands sort of wildly, assuming that people are paying attention to him, but a lot of the goblins around him are just kind of just nodding kind of mindlessly. Like, yeah, we've heard this before.
Oh, that's bringing back so many grad school flashbacks.
Yes, I think we all know a person exactly like that.
Yeah. But also, too, if he's really in charge here, he should theoretically be the last to go to sleep. Because as the project archaeologist or the crew chief or whatever his role is, he should be doing a lot of stuff post field work.
You would think that.
You would think.
But also look at him. Like, he is clearly, the old school imperial
It's like the
antiquarian.
First to go to sleep.
Yeah,
last
first to go
wake
to sleep.
up. He's like, oh yeah, I was up all night reviewing all of your forms and cleaning it up and all of that, and I was all night.
Now bring me my tea.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a super hangover. Chat, don't worry. He has a female secretary to do it for him. That's right. That's right.
Severely underpaid.
Yeah. She's missing a limb.
All right, so should we all just go walk up to him?
Yeah.
Or do you want, and just go?
With like you and Gretel leading? Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we still pass without a trace, don't we?
No, that should be gone by.
Okay, because that would be weird if we
camp as loudly as possible and announce our presence to Hair Pickle Dr. Harry Pickle Man.
Just like with the shippo.
So
who first steps out?
All right, I'll step out first, and I'll walk up to him and be like, "Excuse me, are you Air Dr. McPickle?"
Oh shit!
Okay. So you just stroll out of the bushes, right? You're just kind of like, throw the leaves aside. I'm here, or
yeah.
And call him by not his name.
Yeah, I said Air.
Oh my god!
Air Doctor.
Judging by the story we base this off of, he doesn't know that people call him Pickle.
I'm afraid you'll have to pronounce the full Zigjikwuxing.
It's too late. It's too late.
Okay, so a theory: this half-elf rogue steps out of the bushes, and it's like, "Hello, greetings, Hair Dr. McPickle." All of the goblins sort of look up in surprise at you, and
these strangers
the professor here, the goblin here, like looks up in greatest surprise, and it's like, "What? Dr. McPickle? No, he's not on this expedition. He's left. He's still studying at the university."
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm not an academic, so I don't know how this doctor thing works, but so who is you're looking for who's the doctor in charge here?
Oh, that would be I.
And your name?
I am regretting every single day. Okay. No, because I always have to read it. I always have to read it. It always. It always like weirds me out when I read it. Okay, it's the six with it to. Oh, here we go. Yeah, six with it circ P on an ukjig fed kaba. Yes.
So
Oh,
I come up so I come up with like a pad of paper in my hand and like writing notes and sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you
Yes,
have
yes.
a nickname?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Zix Wibbit Circ P on an ukjig fed kaba. Of course, you may need to I may need to tell you how to spell it. With such a sophisticated name, it's understandable if you're not able to spell it quite correctly. It is ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. It's the alphabet backwards. Ha, clue. There you go.
What do your friends call you? For Pete's sake.
Friends? My academic colleagues?
Oh God, he's an academic. I forgot. What?
He doesn't have friends.
He doesn't have friends.
So perhaps we should just call you Doctor. Would that be okay?
Yes, I do have several doctorates. Yes, that sounds fine.
The doctor.
From where, if I might ask?
No, very sophisticated university.
Sophisticated university. Oh, you're that kind of doctor, huh?
Yeah. What did you do your dissertation on, buddy?
Oh, my dissertation. Oh, of course. Actually,
We're just strangers and we just roll on and like interrogate him.
I mean, to be fair, this is kind of like how it really is.
We just like roll in. And it's like, hey, who are you? What is your name? What did you do your dissertation on? Tell us.
yeah, it's a hobgoblin, a half elf, a goblin. Hobgoblin, half elf, regular goblin, and an half orc stroll out of the bushes and just yell at this man. What was your dissertation? So the goblin actually looks very excited. Oh my goodness, you're here! Finally, someone to listen. Oh, it's like great ways to explain. Go pull up a seat, my friends. Pull up a seat. And he sort of motions over to one of the goblins. Come, go get them a drink. Go get them some food. And so a couple of goblins sort of scamper off to go get something. A couple.
Food.
Yes, they have French fries and pizza and hot dogs and hot pockets. Okay.
Fucking fancy ass archaeology dig over here.
Okay. Illustrations. I'm gonna have to do an illustration of them roasting a hot pocket on a stick over a fire. Okay. So a couple of the goblins sort of roll over in their sort of sleeping bags to move away from the fire to allow room for you. And there's not a lot in terms of seating around the fire. It's mostly just large rocks and kind of logs. So you can take your seat wherever you'd like. Okay. So, as soon as you sit down, actually, before you even sit down, he begins to sort of keep talking, like quite quickly. Talking about, interestingly enough, actually talking about goblins, talking about prehistorical goblins, movements, migrations, and the evidence he has found of goblin activity in the area going back hundreds of years and even thousands of years.
Fascinating. Are these goblin excavations that you're in the middle of right now?
You have it right here, right now. Would you like to see it? I was about to say I wanted everyone to make a Constitution check to make sure you stay awake.
Yeah. Good call, Jesus.
Go ahead. Let's do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Hold on a second. My internet is being challenging.
Dagmar's nodding off.
Oh,
I
golly.
can't even see. What did I get?
Oh,
God.
golly.
Dagmar's asleep. Got food all over her.
I can imagine Dagmar sort of beginning to drool and kind of tipping over almost dangerously into the fire.
Oops. That's upsetting.
Chanera, oh my goodness. I mean, you are wide awake. I don't know if you'll even be able to sleep with how exhilarating this explanation is. You've never heard this before. Okay. So, he actually motions, we do have a dig right here. This is actually why we're camping here. We have a very fascinating and exhilarating find right here, right now. It is dark, so maybe difficult to see, but if you'd like to see it, I'll show you right away.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to check it out.
Yes, definitely.
DM,
Okay.
am I passed out, or can I ask a question of him?
I'll gently nudge Dagmar. Say, wake up.
Oh yeah, I have a question. Where all this stuff? Where does it go? What museum is it going to? And then she just falls right back asleep again.
What's your curation plan?
While Dagmar is asleep,
Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. He takes you over to a large sort of pit. It's a rectangular pit. It's not that deep. It's only a few feet deep. Like maybe like 1 or 2 feet. It's actually fairly shallow. And he begins to explain that the site was a very fortunate find, because the Red Stream occasionally floods, and when it washes down, it happened as the floodwaters came down. It sort of washed out areas along the banks, and so it was able to reveal this find.
Oh my gosh. How do you keep this from us? That's so many secrets. You keep all your drawings from us. What is this?
Oh, and he's very excited. See, we have evidence of early goblin dinosaur interaction. Now, we're still trying to piece together what all this means. Okay? We have to sort of be very careful about the provenience here and the relationship of these objects into each other. It's just amazing, but we're not quite sure what this mystery means.
I noticed it so late. I mean, like, none of us are, well, like, with the exception of me, I'm asleep, but none of us, like, noticed anything weird about this, right? Because we passed by dinosaurs working for goblins on the way over. Living ones. So. Like, this could have happened yesterday.
We have actually found some of early goblin tools, and we've actually found some associated with this site. He actually pulls a couple rocks out of his pocket. Let's see. Okay, and here.
Oh my god.
Rocks.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Somebody was doing their homework.
oh my god.
Holy crap.
All right, Daryl, I want to hire you.
I quit. I do this for a living. I quit. You can do it. Holy shit. Damn.
Oh.
Now,
It's
where's
like-
the scale?
Yeah. Where's
He doesn't have a scale. He just pulled it out of his pocket.
Oh my god.
I
see, like,
know,
the ripples and everything.
I was talking to you, Daryl. I was just messing with you.
Oh. Oh, look, you got the cortex on there. Oh my god.
What a Lavawa. She just pulled out a mysterious.
You have anything more we can look at? I want to see more.
Wow, you're so excited about this site. I am so excited to find colleagues such as yourself. He pulls out a piece of paper from his pocket.
Oh my god.
It's actually a site map. Okay.
Oh, North Arrow.
So it's actually it's a topographical map. And so the little like swirl is actually a dried out riverbed. Where
I
it
love
would
this map more than life itself right now.
so the sort of swirly part is like a dried out riverbed, but it has a little bit of water right now from the recent floods. And then he has a the little symbol near the center to sort of show where they're digging for the dinosaur. Or the dinosaur bones and the goblin bones.
So these are units? So that's the unit it was found in?
Yeah. So he made sort of a grid, and you can kind of to sort of organize. And he begins to explain that the goblins are going to do. I gotta look at my notes. Oh golly, shoe lickers.
I want to know
Let's
what the
see.
bottom right is. Is that just?
Oh no, that's just a face. He just drew a face.
Oh, okay.
As
This
you
is
know,
where
we all
I
make
am.
doodles in our notes.
This is where I was when I drew this. I was standing right here.
Let me see here. Let's see. Oh golly, shoe lickers. Let me see. Yes, they're gonna do some sort of. Yeah. They're gonna do some sort of, I think, digging tests. That's what he calls it. He says they're gonna do some digging tests. Dig tests. To try to see if there's anything else that we can find. Since we have such a wonderful find here, there might be other things in the area of possible effects.
I'm sad that the projectile points aren't on the map. My brain is like, where were they found in context to the skull and the skulls and everything?
Oh,
Oh, are
actually,
they in there? Are they in there?
okay, so we have, let me see here. Oh, wait, it's not, is it doing it? No.
Crawling
weird.
out of the mouth. Oh my god.
Okay, wait, no. So there's actually a little bit of something right there. They sort of left it there in situ and sort of dug around it down. And there's actually another one. I know it's really small, but there's another one actually in the dinosaur skull right there.
God, you think of everything. Just round of applause. Jesus.
Oh my god, I can see debitage.
Yeah. Look like scatters. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And there's eggs. So those are cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Fine.
Dinosaur eggs. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, whatever. There's a T-Rex
I love
skull
the
there.
fact
That's
that,
fine.
like, we came
We're like,
here
we're
on this
doing
D&D
debitage.
quest to find to save people from cursed objects, which is so D&D, and now we're just completely nerding out with the professor about the excavation.
I
It's
like him now.
Yeah.
I'm asleep and none of this is happening in front of me, but I like him. Give me food.
So he goes on and like explains everything he can about the site. So right now they're sort of they've called it for the night. Everyone's going to go to sleep for right now. But tomorrow they're going to walk along the grid and try to figure out where they're going to do a few dig tests to see if they can find anything else. I'll put that the map back up.
All that's missing is a stratigraphy profiling. I need all of the things.
All right. So he sort of yawns a little bit. It's like, oh wow, what an exhilarating day! Finally, I've had someone to sort of listen to me. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go retire for the evening. And finalize some of my notes for the day. You are welcome to sleep wherever.
He didn't kick us out. We're in the clear.
Sometimes it's good to let people just talk about stuff.
I'm sleeping. I'm like, Janera, don't test me.
He basically just walks off and he goes into one of the tents. Or actually, he goes to one of the fires real quick first. He gets a candle, lights a candle, and then proceeds to go to one of the tents. Assumably to write up his note.
To be fair, sir, you never quite answered the question of where the artifacts end up after excavation.
Yeah.
What's your curation and collections policy?
Well, so we don't really keep artifacts. We're not that interested in artifacts. I'm not interested in artifacts. It's much more, the knowledge is much more important, right? The context of the artifacts. So we don't really keep a lot of artifacts.
Uh-huh.
Well, where do they end up?
Do you rebury them?
No.
I say in my slumber.
Well, for some artifacts, we actually sell them. That's actually how we fund this. And so whatever artifacts we can, we test them. We take as much information as we can out of them, and then we just write up our notes, and then we sell them if we can, and then that's how we fund the next expedition.
Interesting.
You guys can wake me up if you want me to kill him.
But before you retire for the night, we are here for a particular reason, which is a number of the artifacts sold have turned out to actually be cursed objects.
Cursed? What do you mean cursed?
Oh, I don't think we heard you.
Oh, sorry. Puppy hen. What do you mean cursed?
As in causing grievous bodily harm to others.
That's odd. I mean, that's odd. We've never had any problems ourselves.
Are you sure?
Typically, we don't like keep the items. We don't use the items, right? We just sort of store them. And he points over a tent over on the edge, like we just put them over there or something.
And I'm sorry, where were you pointing?
Just at another tent. So there are 6 tents. One of the tents would be for like tools. You see some of the tools like spilling out of it. Another tent for him and his notes, and another tent to actually store whatever they find.
Have the people that buy from you, do they ever exhibit strange behavior after you give them the objects? Or do they ever come back and try to return them?
Oh, humans are always so strange anyway. I can never tell.
I mean, like anybody else, like other goblins or anything?
I mean, like, I don't really keep track of who I sell to. I just sell it and then move on.
Oh, so you have different buyers, huh?
Yes.
Not just one person.
No.
Do you sell it in Oak Ridge?
Yes, I do. It's very convenient since we're so close to the dig site here.
Yeah, I bet.
And you haven't heard any murmurings in Oak Ridge about any of the things that you've been selling being cursed?
I'm so busy here. I mean, like, look at this find that we have here. Like, who has time for anything else?
I mean, fair, but what about some of your crew? Like, would they have heard anything?
The few like sort of like goblins like standing around or sitting around or kind of like look at each other and like kind of shrug and like I don't know.
They're like, he doesn't talk to us.
I mean, I don't know. Like that one goblin looks like they've been through some stuff.
Oh my god.
Like maybe an artifact caused it.
Choked on something there, yeah. Been through
So
a
as you
lot.
look, if you look around and look at the other goblins, you actually notice lots of the goblins actually seem to have very, very serious injuries. They all seem to have been healed over already. But there are a few more that have lost limbs. Some of them look really bad.
Ooh.
So, are these, working conditions that are causing these injuries? Or are we looking at like booby traps and
Pointing at these people like that. Did that happen before or after this?
yeah. Did the dinosaur come back to life and chew somebody's arm off?
Off your hand, like don't
Someday.
point at them. That's so rude. Like, of course not. My operations are as safe as possible. I mean, we've only lost 2 fingers so far.
Fingers from what? You're using trowels and shovels.
Well, someone was noodling in the river over when they shouldn't have been doing it.
What?
Noodling catfish?
Yes. Unfortunately, there are also snapping turtles in the stream.
Oh, jeez. So, if you're running a safe operation here, why does so many of your crew look like they've been through a battle?
As soon as she says battle, a lot of them sort of like quiet down, and a lot of them start to like pull their covers over their heads, and kind of
Oh.
like most of the time he's had like a really big smile, but this is the one time where he kind of like stops smiling, just kind of. So it's like yes, we know they come here to work and forget such things.
Huh.
Forget what such thing?
Forget such battles where they've lost such limbs. Shh. Okay. May I go off and take my notes now? I mean, please. Like, you're gonna ruin their dreams. I mean, they only I mean, some of them like Fred over there. I gave him that teddy owl bear. He has enough trouble sleeping already.
Bad dream.
So they're like war vets? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
You make the best shovel bums. I say in my slumber.
Well, now I'm curious what sort of war is going on that goblins are involved in.
So if you remember from previous sessions, you visited a refugee camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually on the outside of Clark. Those would be civilians who have escaped the fighting.
Right.
These are the actual people doing the fighting.
Interesting.
Oh my god, this has been happening around us. Huh.
Yeah, Dagmar. I actually, when I say I take notes, I really do take notes, and like I'm trying to like to like connect all the threads from like so many sessions.
Well, shoot. Now what do we think of this guy?
Wow. I guess I don't know. We should let him get his notes done. Maybe get some rest, mull this over, and wait till everybody goes to sleep, and then poke around the dig site.
Yeah. I'd love to read his notes.
Well, we do
Oh.
have an expert thief with us, so
I'll go get them. I'll try.
I'll be right back. I got this one.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just start rolling really poorly.
Okay. So you're just sort of milling about. You can either roll out your bedrolls or whatever and go to sleep, or a theory can sort of disappear into the darkness again and try to sneak over to one of the tents if she'd like. In
Dagmar's
which
just
case
so
you need.
passed out on like a lawn chair or something.
The Here, Dagmar, why don't you roll a perception check? With a disadvantage because you're asleep.
Okay. Huh.
Jeez. You feel something kind of small and fuzzy on you. You
What?
kind of stir out of your wake. You look down and there's like a kind of stuffed animal on you.
Is it a teddy owlbear?
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Do I have a new champ?
I mean,
What's his name? Ted? Todd? Fred, right? Fred.
yeah, Fred.
Okay. I'll find him.
can I just say that I like how the one random like goblin Shubbahob is named Fred, but then our hair Dr. Pickle Man has got the complicated name.
Even our party is pretty complicated compared to Fred.
Yeah. I feel like it's a nickname. Like that's not really his name. Just like nobody knew what his name was.
It's like, this isn't my name. It's just what Dr. Pickle calls me sometimes.
Yeah.
Calls all of us Fred.
Small
Well, do
Fred,
we want-
larger.
Now, I would like to take a moment to go speak with Fred and specifically ask about his dream,
Ooh.
because I'm
That's a good
curious if
question. Yeah.
he's been dreaming of blue meanies like I
Mhm.
had.
So, are you okay? So to make it simple, that way you don't just go randomly and shake the shoulder of every goblin here, like, "Hey, are you Fred? Hey, are you Fred? Hey, are you Fred?"
Question, they're all Fred.
They're all Fred.
So you notice one that's sort of getting back into his under his covers, and he's actually or getting under covers, and you notice he's actually close to one of the tents. He's close to one of the tents where they store items.
And it's interesting that I got handed a teddy bear that was given to somebody who's having bad dreams, and I was sleeping. So it was like somebody thought that I was going to have bad dreams too. So there might be something they know something about dreams here.
It sounds like if he's sleeping by the tent where they're keeping the artifacts, it sounds like there's a cursed object in there. If not all
Yeah.
of them are cursed.
Oh, good golly! Every time you pick up an arrowhead, are you going to think to yourself, "Is this cursed?"
Hey man,
Well,
there's some
archaeologists
people
kinda
that
already
believe
do.
that.
That's
Like,
that's kind of what the
seriously.
public thinks we do.
Well, but I mean, like, let me go archaeologist on you for a second. There are cultures that believe that, like, you don't pick up these objects or touch them unless you have something to protect you. So, like, the tribe that I do a lot of work with, they have this special paint, and they put a dab on their forehead, and then they rub it on the palms of their hands and then on the bottom of their feet. So if they step on anything or if they touch anything, the energy attached to the object or the presence of the person that made the object or was in possession of the object doesn't bring them harm or follow them home or anything like that. So I can see this being a thing in the goblin world.
I'm gonna have to put the evil eye in here somehow.
That's ridiculous. That's really cool. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of funny because when we're, in the field and we have like our tribal monitor with us, anytime we're surveying and he thinks that he sees something like an arrowhead or something like that, he will call us over and he'll be like, I think it's a thing, but I don't want to touch it. And so he has the white people pick it up.
I was wondering if they made you like paint yourselves, if they're just like,
I
no.
mean, sometimes they're nice and they'll offer it to us if we want it. But there's sometimes where they're just like, they don't always have their paint with them. So they don't want to touch it. And they would rather have us touch it, which sounds really bad, but like
You get the curse.
And I mean, I don't know.
Okay, taking notes.
Oh yep, all the notes.
Have any of you seen there's a commercial, it's like an ad council commercial of like wearing your mask when you go outside, and there's an archaeologist who's about to open a cursed.
A cursed what?
Cut out, Michael. I think we lost you.
Sorry, can you hold on? I'm gonna get back to Discord. Am I back in Discord? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the ad, but it's an ad of there's an archaeologist that's about to open a cursed sarcophagus, and then it immediately cuts to a woman who's decided to go to the grocery store without her mask, and the ad turns and it says, neither of these things is a good idea.
I mean,
so again, just playing to that,
didn't all of this start when they unearthed that one sarcophagus? So.
All right. So, so you notice what's possibly Fred kind of getting ready to go to sleep near one of the tents. The professor here going into his tent to write up his notes, to write up his field report, or survey report rather, because it's not quite done yet. So a theory I'm guessing is going to sneak around. So Dagmar's sleeping. Are you going to stay asleep, Dagmar?
I didn't realize I was muted. She's kind of woken up now, right? Or was that just for a moment, just noticing that she's got the teddy bear?
It's up to you whether you just sort of hug it and then roll over and go back to sleep, or you can get up and do something.
I'm gonna have her hug it for now and go back to sleep.
How about Janira? Yeah.
Oh, what was that? I think your audio is cutting out a little bit.
Oh, mine? Okay. So, Dagmar rolls over, goes back to sleep. How about Genera?
I'm inclined to go poking around.
So Genera, you're gonna go sneaking. Oh, are you actually gonna sneak, or are you just gonna nonchalantly walk around like, "Hey, I belong here"?
I mean, I guess I'll sneak. I'm pretty good at stealth.
Okay. So if Genera is sneaking, go ahead, roll stealth. A theory, if you're sneaking, roll stealth. Gradal, what are you gonna do?
I was going to go talk to Fred, if I recall, to ask him about his dreams to see if they bear any resemblance. If he's been dreaming about blue meat.
Okay.
Could I actually could I make a redo? Could I go with Gradal holding the teddy bear, kind of like having a feeling that Fred, it belongs to Fred and wanting to ask him about it?
Um, so I'll get to that in a moment. So for a theory and Genera, a theory. I guess you're sneaking around in the bushes. I guess your feet are very quiet, but there's a lot of it's really thorny bushes, almost brambly, and it keeps shaking as you sort of watch by, kind of catches your clothing a little bit. So there's a rustling. For Genera is much smoother. So Genera, you can consider stealth to go wherever you like. In a theory, you notice that people sort of not quite look at you, but kind of look around because they notice a sound. Okay. So Genera, in a theory, think about what you're gonna do next. And tell me your answers when I come back to you. Gradal, Dagmar. You walk up to presumably Fred. He's sort of kind of snuggling up, putting the covers up to his shoulders, kind of fluffing his rock pillow. What do you say to him, or what do you do?
I'm gonna let Gradal lead because I'm just following, holding the teddy bear, just like, why do I have this?
Hi, I heard your name was Fred from the professor there. Just out of curiosity, do you really call him Zix Jun Woods Kaba every single time?
He kind of rolls his eyes and says, "No, I don't call him that. Everybody calls him Professor Zix Wivud Cirque P Onum Lick Jig Fed Kaba."
What?
Gotta be hell.
And he kind of shrugs and's like, "Yeah, get used to it. It's a living."
Oh my god. He beats us otherwise. Mister, is this your teddy bear?
It's my teddy owlbear, yes, but I thought you could maybe use it since you were taking a nap. It helps me sleep.
How does it help you?
It's nice to feel like I'm not alone when I fall asleep.
Oh, that's nice. How do I respond to that?
I don't know. Intimidate him. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I'm imagining that you're gonna do the animate tsundere thing, and you're just gonna shove the owlbear right back in his face, like, "I don't need your owlbear."
Can I do that with a 9? I rolled a 9.
Are you really trying to intimidate him? Like, what do you mean intimidate him?
Just like why the guy said, Mr. Pickleman, Dr. Mick Academic Face, he said that you need this to sleep because you have bad dreams. So, and I was sleeping, so why do I have it now? What's going on here?
So there's a kind of that Dagmar kind of growls this, "What is going on here?" And there's a little bit of crack in her voice at the end. Okay.
Thanks, DM.
You wanted to hear me do voices, so I do voices. The So he kind of like is a little bit taken aback, and it's like, well, I'm getting used to the dreams. Like I kind of feel like they're not so scary anymore. So I thought maybe you could use it. Like I
What-
feel like I know what to do in my dreams.
What kind of dreams are they?
Kind of scary.
Uh-huh. Are they like monster dreams?
His eyes kind of grow kind of a little bit big. Like, yeah, monsters. Yeah,
When did they
monsters.
When did they start?
Eh,
Oh.
Yeah.
I think your audio faded.
So a little while ago, we actually when we picked up something from our previous site, the doctor hasn't finished writing his notes, so he's still looking at the stuff. Stole most of the artifacts already, but there's something he kept behind.
I'm gonna like lean down and whisper to Gretel, like, we need to find that thing. He still has it.
Yeah. Do you know now? Do you know where this thing is, Fred?
It's probably here in the tent, and he just like motions behind him.
Now,
Oh, okay.
when you dream, I have to ask, do you dream of these weird, scary, floaty blue thingies?
Oh,
Floating lights?
they're floating lights. I wish they were just floating lights. These things are really
No,
creepy.
you needed them.
Anything like the skull in the pit?
Skull in the pit? Oh, the dinosaur? No, I like dinosaurs.
I like him.
Like everybody loves dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs?
Aw. Do you want to be a champ? He has no idea what that means.
You steal the shuttle bumps.
They're mine now. My bums. Hobbs.
Blobs, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's in the tent, so should we just be like, all right, thank you. Move aside.
like you're gonna motion to the tent. He's like, usually we don't go inside the tent. We're not. Usually the professor, Zix Wuvud Cirque P Onum Look Jig Fed Kabah doesn't like us messing with the things.
You are getting better and better and better at that, Daryl.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect. Okay, so do you just like shoulder your way past them?
Should we charm him?
Try.
And lean down to Gretel again and be like, do what you did, like similar to the elf girl. Do that again. Whatever
elf
that
girl?
was.
The elf girl
sure,
whom you
I could
charmed into turning herself in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could totally do that because Fred and I are friends, aren't we? And I pull out one of my flowers for it. And
Okay, now actually, so as a little bit of, we haven't really discussed this, but as a bit of kind of just for flavor text and for storytelling purposes, remember that when you cast a spell, you can actually sort of design the gesture you do to cast the spell. So if you like, when you cast your spells, you can use flowers as sort of the gesture that you do for anything that's somatic.
that's the plan.
Okay. Yeah, because it is a verbal and somatic spell, so you're gonna have to say. You'll say bibbidi bobbidi boo and like pull a flower out, I guess, and hand it to
Blow
him.
the petals into his face.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
golly.
I could go, hey Fred, do you want to see a magic trick? And I'll pull out and I'll say the magic words and I'll pull out the flower and hand it to him.
All right. So let's see. What's your difficulty?
My
Spell
DC
difficulty.
They Indie Beyond. Sorry, it's having me reload the page every time I go back to it.
Okay, so here we go.
I think my
Here's
DC is 14.
a 2.
I think it's 14.
So, well, yeah, he rolled a 2, so he happens to like breathe in really deeply as you blow the like dandelion in his face, if that's what it is, and he's like, "Friend? Huh? Wow. I'm glad I became part of the Shovel Hobbs. I keep making new friends all the time. What a great group. Like family."
Absolutely. And, I bet it's like family. You'd be more than willing to show me around that tent behind you over there.
I don't really know much of what's in it. Well, no, I mean, I don't know what the artifacts are, but I guess I can show you inside. And he pulls up the tent flaps. There's nothing really tying them together. They're just sort of closed. So he pulls them and draws them back and ushers you in. It's dark inside, of course. Actually, there's not a lot here. You find as you sort of rummage through it, there are a few boxes, but they're not very large. There's just a few small boxes. There is one large chest off on the side. And there's like papers and things like that.
Could I... If I get assist, could I do like an investigation check, see if there are any artifacts of a similar design as to the cursed bowl?
Okay.
That
So go ahead. So I'm guessing you're going to use your guidance. So and I'm guessing that Dagmar's going to help you, right? Are you going to help him, Dag? Okay, so go ahead, roll with advantage, Gradal, and add your guidance to it.
Yeah, I know. It's D&D Beyond is doing me dirty. And a way to...
Do I just verbally say that I'm helping, or do I need to do something too?
Just verbally say it. Just
Okay.
declare it.
I'm helping. Dagmar, assist.
Are we just doing the office now? I declare bankruptcy.
Oh shit.
Let me see what I...
It's like the same thing I do with the rages, though. I am raging.
In another game, just to irritate my friend in DM, for raging, whenever I raged, I'd always be like depressive about it. I'd be like, I'm raging. Rage.
Oh man, I wish I'd known that from the start. I would have done that. That sounds like fun.
Okay.
Well, I'd imagine it's interesting. I'd imagine you could probably do a bunch of different rages. You could do like happy rage, like
Yeah.
or you could do like a kind of sad rage.
It's a real peppy rage. I'm raging! Hooray!
If you can't use D&D Beyond, you can just use the dice rolls in roll 20.
Well, the thing is, I don't roll. You need to know what my DC is. The spell. You would roll the saving throw. Oh no, that's right.
Your initiation.
That's right.
So.
It's not letting me access my character. Not letting me go back to roll 20. I can't. Computer. I'm in. Has anybody ever had a thing in Chrome where it won't let you switch between tabs?
That it freezes?
Yeah, like the whole
Do you
thing.
have Windows 10?
Yeah.
There's a thing. I'm having that problem with my new computer too. That's what I was telling Sarah. There's a problem. Chrome and Windows 10 don't work together apparently.
Great.
Yeah, there's a fix for it. I can send it to you later.
Please do. Please do. I'm desperately trying to get back to my character, which I
I'm
had
actually gonna
cleaned up
send it
before the
right now.
game started, but then the tab crashed in the middle of. So now I'm on D&D Beyond. Now I'm going to my character. Finally, there we go. Thank Jesus. Or Melora, or whatever the hell Gretel worships.
Praise Cthulhu!
Acting Fuktutinkin Relie Fatang. However it goes. Okay, finally. Okay. Investigation, right? With advantage?
Yes, and your guidance.
Okay, so I'm going to roll twice for investigation. Did it show up? Because it's not letting me switch tabs to roll 20.
I don't see it in roll 20. Oh, there it is.
Hmm?
Oh, good golly. You got a 20.
Oh, I got a natural 20. Oh, okay.
All right. You don't have an investigation bonus anyway, so we could have just rolled the dice for you.
Oh, that's true.
Anyways, so you begin to deftly rifle through the boxes and the papers, and Dagmar is very helpful by pointing out, hey, there's a box, hey, there's a paper, hey, that's an even bigger box.
Okay, help.
As you go through the boxes, you actually just find kind of more of the rocks that he showed you from his pocket. They're all labeled. They have numbers on them, like written on them, like with a little bit of ink. There's a few notes associated with each of them, and you notice that they're like locations, dates, sort of notes about what the sites that they're at. You do find maybe a few wooden things, like they just seem to be sort of sticks or things like that. You're not quite sure exactly what they are, but they do seem to have been worked. But that's basically all you find until you come to the chest. Do you actually open the chest?
No, I think we would want to. I wish the theory was here. I think I would want to check for traps or check to see if it's locked.
I can check for traps. I can see if things are locked.
Sound really confident there.
Well, I'm sure, but you're not here. I thought it was just me and Dagmar. But you were you were hiding in the shadows. That's right.
Okay.
No, that
So
that was me.
let's
Okay.
let's bring Genera and the theory back into this. This is a good point. Okay, so Genera, theory, where are you?
Actually, I was gonna go sneak into the tent until they decided to just go into the tent. So I mean, I could just like randomly pop out and like, what the hell, guys? I snuck in here for a reason.
Okay. So we're gonna retcon this slightly. So as Groudon is sort of rifling through the boxes, he removes a box and then sees Genera's face. It's like, ah. His investigation has turned up Genera hiding in the corner of the tent.
Yes.
You need a theory?
How about you, a theory?
Okay, so I'm in the bushes, so I see those guys all going into this tent. Well, I see Dagmar and Gretel going. So I pull the thorns out of my boots and I try to quietly walk over there to the tent and go follow them in there.
A lot of the most of the goblins are sort of asleep now. There's a few of them that are kind of nodding off that sort of see you walking over and then kind of, their kind of heads droop and they fall asleep. Of the goblins that do like notice you walk in, nobody gets up. Nobody gets up to stop you.
All right, so Okay, what'd you guys find?
Well, we found this chest, but I'm not entirely sure if it's safe to open or not.
Okay, so I can. You want me? You want to check for traps and try to pick the lock? I can do that.
If you wouldn't mind terribly.
Yeah.
All right.
I can get my.
So to check for it, you're gonna roll an investigation.
Don't have the
Your
rolls.
your investigation triggers the mimic. Ah, everybody roll initiative. I'm just kidding. Okay. Oh man, if this were a traditional D&D game, this should be a mimic, but no, it's not a mimic. You kind of like sort of run your hands along the wood of the chest, and there is a lock in front, and it just seems to be a typical lock.
Okay, I'm gonna try to open it then.
Okay, so you're gonna roll a you're gonna use your thieves tools. You need to roll I don't know if you have thieves tools actually set as a action on your character sheet, but otherwise you're just gonna do a
Click it and see what comes up.
I don't know if you're just gonna do anything for you. Otherwise, what you're gonna do is your dex plus proficiency. Your dex bonus plus your proficiency, which would be something like actually let me look at your character sheet right now. If we can't we might do I just might make you click something else just because to make it easy.
It's letting me click thieves tools and then I can choose an attribute. So choose dex.
Hey, yeah, choose dex.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, good golly.
Nice.
Yay!
That worked.
Wow, this is going so smoothly. Okay, the lock pops open very smoothly, and you leave no trace. There's not even scratches on the lock from when you're sort of working it. The chest is now unlocked. You may open it at your discretion.
All right, I'm gonna just slowly open it, peek in.
There's a lot of things in here. As you sort of peer closely, they seem to be bones.
Oh God.
Well,
The
I
archaeologist
open
would be
it all the way, and I say, "Hey, you guys, check this out."
So it throws alongside the lid. You see bones inside, but they are the strangest bones you have ever seen. And sitting on top, actually, is a particular set of bones, and that you notice. Let's see here.
Should
This is
we?
sitting
Should
on
we?
top.
Oh.
What?
Uh.
Oh my God.
Is it a turtle?
That was my first thought too. It's like an almost like an insect humanoid kind of hard skull thing, isn't it?
As far as you can tell.
Alien. Is it an alien? Are we dealing with aliens now? The DM is laughing.
Okay, anyways, so you throw open the lid, and all of you peer in. The Fred takes a quick look at it and quickly turns away, kind of shudders a little.
Sorry, Fred.
No, it's fine. I know
eyes?
it's. Excuse me?
It's like it has 3 eyes. Eye holes.
3 orbital sockets?
Unless it's like, elephant skull or mammoth skull, where they thought that the nasal orifice was the eye socket.
Mm.
And so we were just looking at this thinking that it has 3 eyes, but maybe those aren't all eye sockets.
Huh. I know it's not a rock. That's as
You
far as my specialty is.
you can lick it and find out.
If it sticks, it's bone.
Fred, come here.
Fred, come over here.
Tanya,
I wanna
just
touch-
lick
gonna
it.
do
Just
for
lick
you.
it a little bit.
You already have the dreams. It can't get worse than that. Huh. Can
Would-
any of us determine what the bone? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, actually was just gonna ask the same question that you're gonna ask, but
Yeah.
was
Bones
gonna
underneath,
ask
right?
if one of my skill sets, because I'm pretty high in both Arcana and History, so I wonder if I roll.
Okay. So, for everybody here, you can put your heads together. My suggestion is pick a skill that you have. One of the either nature, medicine, history, or arcana. You get to pick one. Just pick one. Pick the one that you're best at. And go ahead and roll to sort of determine what you think this is. They're always coming in clutch. Oh wow.
Damn.
Well, you just get to read my notes. You got something, Grad Doll?
Yeah, I did nature.
Okay, it hasn't shown up for me. Okay.
Try again.
What was the roll?
Yeah, it's not showing up. But I'm gonna assume since we're getting such a good spread here of all these different ones, I'm just gonna start to explain it. So, oh wait, we don't have a medicine. Okay, let me see. So Dagmar, even with your -1, okay, medicine will actually round it out. Medicine will make it perfect. Okay. So Dagmar with the nature, Dagmar, you recognize that this is not any kind of animal that you've ever seen before. So you know that from sure. This does seem you can tell that they're bones, but they're very strange bones. They don't like the shape and sort of texture you would believe them to be bones, but the material that they're made of does not seem to be anything very familiar to you. Genera, for your Arcana, you are recognizing that this does seem to be the skeleton of what presumably is a being from that lost ancient civilization, the ancient civilization of Pacifica. I actually might change that name, but I want to keep it because it's a nice joke. Ooh. Add your guidance. Add your guidance. Where's your guidance?
I'll add my guidance.
A theory. Ooh, sweet. 8 makes it so it's not so bad. Okay. So a theory with your history, you have heard of like relics, people having relics of these sorts of things. But they're sort of few and far between, and people kind of don't like them. Because it's really like if the items themselves are cursed, it feels like it's really bad juju to have the bones of the thing that made that cursed item. Gradal, with your medicine of roll of 8, you do recognize this as a skull. This does seem to be a skull, but it is the freakiest skull you have ever seen. Those do seem to be orbital sockets because there's a back. Like there's a back wall, and then they still, even though it's a little bit degraded, it's still fairly in good condition. It does have the little holes in the back for the optic nerve, but even though it's one hole or one orbital socket, 3 orbital sockets, each orbital socket has 2 holes for optic nerves.
Huh. So, like 4 eyes, or
It would be 6.
Huh.
And then the side of its head is just this sort of weird, like, gaping hole. But it doesn't seem to be broken. Like, it's meant to be that way. And then he sort of shudders and doesn't like to look directly at the skull.
Can he tell us where?
He mentions that it's that it was actually another expedition further away from Oak Ridge. It's like further north. And it was like a month ago.
be further up?
To the area that I've mentioned as the wastes, where it's common for looting and kind of like scavenging and mining for the cursed artifacts that we've been talking about.
So Fred, do you have any field notes from those excavations? Or are they all with Herr Doctor?
Notes? I don't know how to read and write, and I don't take notes.
Oh, okay. So I see there's like a box of papers over there and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over and take a look and see if there's any maps.
Because we can read and write, right?
I'm sure Fred won't mind.
Okay, so all of you can sort of rummage through these papers, and you can read these notes at your leisure, except for Dagmar.
What? Hold on, why?
All of the notes are written in Goblin. You're the only person here who cannot understand Goblin.
Okay. For a second there, it's like, no, don't. You can read and write, right? Well, she's just gonna just fart around and look at things, I guess. Just stare at this thing like, can make a lot of money on a beast like this, probably.
So Fred kind of keeps squirming. He doesn't like to keep standing here looking at this thing. And he explains that he doesn't like this, like he closes the chest. Because he doesn't like it. And he explains that the skull reminds him of his dreams.
Dun dun dun.
All right, so I'll put the lock back because we don't need anything else in there, do we?
Unless you want to take some bones, some cursed bones.
Yeah. So I'll just put the lock back and lock it back up.
All right.
Can I ask Fred a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Why have you what happens when you talk to Mr. Dr. Fancy Pants Schoolman about your dreams exactly? What does he say?
I do like how none of you can say his name because it's too long, but your
You don't
descriptions
want
of him are just as long as the name.
That's right.
So the doctor, I mean, we have had some therapy. I have had some therapy sessions with the doctor, and he's told me that they're just dreams. That dreams can't hurt me.
Wait.
Yeah.
He's a therapist too?
Yeah. It's like, where's HR? Is he HR?
They're like Fred's like HR. What's HR? Is that like GIS? We're still learning GIS.
Or okay, GR? Do you have GR? Goblin Resources?
No, I'm the resource, right? He kind of flexes like
What are you getting paid?
2 gold a day.
Huh.
Not half bad.
It's gonna elbow everybody. Like I don't like the sound of this.
Do I find any maps of the wastelands excavation?
You do find some notes and maps, some excavation maps. Also with the little happy goblin face on it. And you can pinpoint it quite accurately. You think from the information there. It's very thorough.
Ooh.
You're gonna make me write all of this up. You're gonna make me write up all of them field surveys and field reports.
This is what happens when you get into archaeology, Daryl.
Yeah, I don't know if I can
Mistakes
play
were
this game
made.
anymore. Yeah. I don't know if I can play this anymore if I don't have the stratigraphic profile to provide me with the context that will allow me to play this game efficiently. Sorry. I need it.
Wait a minute. Now, you have to have knowledge of the process of how much is actually laid down in order to understand the stratigraphy of the site, right? Because if it's a cave, it's different than the river, right?
Yeah.
I've been reading my intro books, okay?
Good.
Okay. So you're all just sort of standing around, rifling through the professor's notes, and Fred's just kind of like,
I'm here.
like, yeah, I'm here. Fred is probably taking the teddy owl bear from you, Dagmar, and is like hugging it, like, may I go to sleep now?
He can try. I'm not letting go of it. He gave it to me. It's fine now.
So you're gonna do a strength check? Okay, strength check.
Yep.
Okay. Roll your strength. Not a strength save, strength check. So
Okay.
just the stat.
This one? Is this right? Did I do it?
Holly Williker, yes, you did, and you got a 20.
It's fine now.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna write that in my inventory right now.
So Fred like tugs on the owl bear, like very sort of pathetically, like, oh well, I guess you can keep it if you're gonna go to sleep. Like he goes outside and like he leaves the tent, and presumably goes to sleep.
That was my contribution to everyone. That was.
Okay. Whatever so the question I have now for you is: are you going to take the notes, or are you just going to try to memorize them, or are you going to grill the professor the next morning?
I feel like we should grill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I don't want to take the notes. I'm going to try to memorize the location.
All right then. So, everybody sort of reading the notes. Whoever reads the notes, whoever can read the notes, you have a general idea of where, when, and what was found. For the skeleton, and if you're interested, previous inventories of artifacts that they have found If you look hard enough, you could probably even find the notes for the cup that you found or that you ran into earlier. But otherwise, you'll just leave the notes as is. You'll put them back as is, hopefully, and not like completely rummage through.
No, they have to stay with the artifacts. That's the rule.
Oh, golly, gee Willikers, like
Can't cross that line. That would just drive me nuts.
no. I'm not an archaeologist, but I can feel it. The idea of opening up a shoebox with a thing inside and no notes about what it is, and just like,
Right?
what the crap?
Yep.
Just can't do it.
Okay. I assume you're gonna leave the tent. Think about your sleeping arrangement for tonight, and because we're gonna end the session about now, because I think it's about time. And then for next session, you're going to experience more of the life of the shovel hobs, and you'll meet more of them. So, are there any other questions and any other plans or whatever you'd like to do?
I think sounds like we're at a good stopping point. So,
All right then. So, here our intrepid adventurers have stumbled upon, or well, not quite stumbled upon, rifled through this professor's notes and artifacts, found what's obviously a cursed skull, not made of crystal, probably. They have met the shovel hobs, and they are going to, and they have seen what a let me see what an archaeological site looks like in this game, complete with goblin bones, stone tools, and dinosaur bones. Right. Thank you all for listening and watching us and enjoying us. We'll see you